Okay, I've got a problem up here on the board. If sine of x is negative 0.4 and x is in quadrant 4, I want us to find three things, just to get a little bit more practice with these formulas. Sine of 2x, cosine of 2x, and tangent of 2x. Okay. Now, one thing, I'm going to have you in a moment turn off the video or pause the video and try this on your own. But almost all the trig functions involve fractions of some sort. And it's not a good idea to mix fractions and decimals. So when I see that my trig function is a decimal, I'm almost always going to rewrite that. Sine of x, that's negative 4/10. That's the name of the number, negative 4/10. And then I can reduce that if I want to negative 2/5. Okay. Now, if you want to keep it as negative 0.4, you can, but make sure that at the end of the problem, your answer is either a fraction or a decimal. Don't mix and match them. So I don't want to see anything like, 0.3/7 or something like that. That's not simplified sufficiently. And I find it's usually easiest just to convert to a fraction right off the bat. Okay, so with that as a hint, go ahead, pause the video, try and work this out, and then tune back in to check your answer. Welcome back. Okay, so I'm just going to work through them in order. I'm pretty much going to need to know what cosine of x is. So I'm going to draw my x, which is an angle in quadrant 4. I don't know if that's how I get there, but that's a way of getting to quadrant 4. And then I can draw my alpha, which is my reference angle. Drop a perpendicular to the x-axis, and I've got my lovely right triangle. Now, I know that sine of alpha will be the absolute value of negative 2/5. So that's just 2/5. So now I can label the opposite side 2 and the hypotenuse 5. I want to know the adjacent, so let's use Pythagoras. So a squared plus 2 squared is 5 squared. A squared plus 4 is 25. A squared is 21. A is the positive square root of 21. Again, algebraically, two answers to that. Geometrically, if I'm finding a side length, it's positive. Okay. So now I can say cosine of x, two-step process. I'm in quadrant 4, so cosine is going to be positive. And then I attach to that, let's see, we said a was root 21. I attach to that cosine of alpha, which would be root 21 over 5. Excellent. So let's get sine of 2x. Sine of 2x is 2 sine x cosine x. So that's going to be 2 times, we said sine x, written as a fraction, was negative 2/5. Cosine of x was positive root 21 over 5. I'm going to write that 2 as a 2 over 1. So on top, I've got negative 4 root 21, and on bottom, I've got 25. Okay, let's get cosine of 2x. Now, I've got options for this. I could use any of the three formulas. If I just had this information, I'd use the formula that just used sine of x and didn't also use cosine of x. If I want, I could use the version that involves both of them, but it might be a little bit safer to just use this one, because I know that's right, and if I made a mistake in calculating cosine, that could affect my answer. So I think I'm going to say cosine of 2x. I know it's cosine squared x minus sine squared x, but I can replace that with a 1 minus sine squared x minus sine squared x. So that's 1 minus 2 sine squared x, which in this case is going to be 1 minus 2 copies of, we had said this was negative 2/5 squared. So that's 1 minus 2 copies of, when I square a negative, of course, it becomes positive. So that's going to become 4 over 25. Write that 2 over 1. So I get 1 minus 8 25ths. That'll be 25 25ths minus 8 25ths. That's going to give me 17 25ths. Excellent. So I've now got sine of 2x. I've got cosine of 2x. I'm just going to write my answers in here. So I can clear the board and still have that. Now I want tangent of 2x. Now, if I'd just been asked for that, I might have used the double angle formula for tangent. But having just done this work, I think the simplest way to get tangent of 2x is going to be to take sine 2x over cosine 2x. I don't have to. I've got lots of options. That's the thing with trig identities. They give you lots and lots of different options for things that are all correct. So this is negative 4 root 21 over 25 over 17 over 25. And of course, when I divide by a fraction, I'll just flip and multiply. So negative 4 root 21 over 25 times 25 over 17. Those 25's cancel. Negative 4 root 21 all over 17. And just double checking, that root cannot be simplified and nothing goes evenly into 17. So that is as far as I can simplify that.